Vineet, first to you, what is happening on ground with respect to your business? What are you noticing? Have trucks started moving, at least for essential goods?
Hi. Well, trucks have not started moving. I think the kind of movement currently would be probably at 5-7%. Basically, the trucks that were on the road before the lockdown have started to move now to reach the destination. But we have to remember that there are no labor that is available even at the factories to unload these trucks. So the trucks can reach those destinations, but then they will not unload. So there are lots of issues still, and I think this whole system needs to gear up. At the local level, we are still seeing that there is resistance to even let people to go and get passes, or just the local authorities understanding that transportation is very essential. That's on one side, on the road side. On the warehousing side, we are seeing some companies, especially in our e-commerce space as well as in the FMCG space, moving up quickly and starting to move products. Again, however, the last mile does have a problem because, let's say, distributors don't have enough manpower to unload those products. So we are seeing issues there as well. We also operate on the rail and the sea side. On the rail side, domestic movement has been happening, and I think that's very positive. In fact, it's been faster since there are no passenger trains running. And we've got inquiries also from other customers, either from the port or otherwise domestically as well. On the sea side, we operate on the coastal shipping side, and we're seeing coastal shipping actually happening as well today as we speak. Of course, there's congestion at the ports. The evacuation of trucks of containers are not happening at that pace, but work has certainly started.
Vineet, hi, good morning. Is the congestion at ports, I mean, that's the feedback we've got from others, other companies, etc. as well, pretty severe? Because, if that is true, then if, essential goods which are coming by way of sea, I mean, they would not find their way to where those goods are needed. Could you just elaborate a little bit more on what's happening at ports, big ports like JNPT, etc.?
So, 2-3 things happening there. One is clearly the whole congestion issue. There's already been addressed, and some work has started there. Again, the labor is now returning to many of these ports, and we are seeing movement happening there as well. The second thing is that there was a need that all the shipping lines as well as ports were charging demurrage and other standing fees for either the ships or the containers, which has also been cleared by the government that these will not be chargeable. But I would probably think not a lot of essential products that are coming on the ports would be inputs to essential goods. And that also needs to move clearly. And of course, there would be certain kinds of products that are getting imported which are essential. So it does need to move, and it's the whole system needs to sort of pick up till we really can see that the logistics comes to, even in the today's scenario at 40-50% would mean a big jump in terms of actual availability of essential products at the local level.
Okay, we also have with us Mr. Kultaran Singh Aitwal of the All India Motor Transport Congress. Mr. Aitwal, thank you for joining us. Good to have you here. Could you tell us what is the situation as you see it? You heard from the Transport Corporation of India. What are you seeing on the ground amongst your members and overall?
Actually, overall position is not good. Maybe in the coming time, maybe shortage of essential goods, because so many drivers leave the trucks. Near about 30-40% drivers goes to their home. So it's very difficult for us to tell the drivers to come back. Actually, there is some problem created due to this lockdown, when so many drivers have not eaten food for so many days, and they have not drink water even, and they have gone back to the houses after leaving the trucks. But we are trying our best to communicate with the government, and now the government is also helping us. They have just helped yesterday also that you can, up to 30 due to the national permit and fitness and road tax, you can go ahead without that. But we are trying also our best to communicate with the government, and we'll try to supply the essential goods to communities. One problem is also there is no labor now. Actually, for trucks, if we go up and down, from one side we need consignment goods like from the factories, from the markets, and from other side there is vegetables and fruits and everything. If our trucks will go empty from one side, it's not possible that the expenses will be more and the income will be less. That is not a problem, big problem nowadays, but the problem is of labor. There is no labor is there to just for the loading and unloading. So it's a very difficult time to come. We are trying our best to cooperate with the government and the public.
Okay. Kultaran, I have a couple of questions. Hi, Surabhi here. I have a couple of questions as well. I believe the government issued a notification, at least on the permits, etc., yesterday. So that should not become a reason for the movement of trucks stopping. So how quickly do you think we can smoothen out the process of essential supplies? Do you have enough truckers available? Because there are reports that even truckers are sort of leaving the trucks and going home because it's such a big human crisis. So now that the government has responded, how soon can the truckers come back and start the movement of essential goods?
Actually, there is no shortage of trucks. Actually, there is a shortage of drivers now. The drivers which leaves the trucks, it's very difficult. They are returning back due to this virus also, and due to this that happened just some days that they don't have eat to food and everything. So we are trying our best. And actually, 30 to 40% trucks are delivered essential goods like medicines and milk, fruits, vegetables. And 30% drivers is available. We are trying our best to supply essential commodities. And now the movement has been started. Now near about 6 lakh trucks are standard. Now the vehicles are started. And let's hope for the best that we can get supply essential goods.
Okay, so Kultaran, you said that there is a shortage of drivers. How bad is this shortage? And if you could tell us, out of the total fleet, what percentage of drivers have simply left?
Actually, 50 to 60% drivers have gone to their houses. And now 40% or 45% are there. And if they are available, we can supply easily. 40%, 45% drivers is enough for the essential goods, I think so.
Vineet, I hope things get back to normal, but what is your timeline to when do we return to some sort of normalcy in terms of, getting goods around the country where they're needed?
I think, from an essential goods perspective at the local level, at the warehouse level, etc., there is a certain level of safety stock, if I may call it, that always exists. And there was some amount of extra material that was also created because of the lockdown, impending lockdown earlier. So I think another 2, possibly 10 days, etc., things should be okay. From a packaged goods perspective, we might see some amount of issues. But I do not expect this to actually improve to a 100% level even after the lockdown right away. I think almost all businesses will face that. But certainly, progressively, I would see improvement on a day-to-day basis. I think a few things are needed also, for example, reducing fuel prices. There's going to be, since there's a shortage of trucks, the freight rates will also move up quite rapidly. And hence, there has to be some cushion from the input side where at least the fuel prices are lowered. And, we have ample room to do that. So like there's a few other things that need to be done parallelly that will ensure that the trucks come back.